Hey, welcome back to another episode of Good Stories with Josh and Oscar. And by now, hopefully you guys know that I'm Josh and you are?
I'm Oscar.
Yep, there we go. And our goal is to tell some good stories. One of the things we want to do for you is to encourage you, to inspire you. There's enough negativity in our world, and we just want to bring some positivity to it, especially to your world as you continue through your week. And Oscar, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, so the first story takes us to Mount Vernon, Washington, where a few months ago they were called to a Dollar Tree where reports of a homeless man trying to steal socks. Now, the very nice part about this story was that after speaking with the manager, Officer Cartwright also questioned the homeless man, who was very honest about what he had done. And so the officer basically said, hey, look, if you stop stealing, I'm going to buy you some socks, where he ended up spending $15 and buying several pairs of socks for the homeless man. The good thing that came out of it was that the manager also, instead of pressing charges, told the homeless man, hey, if you need some help, just come to me and I can help you. And of course, they also gave him resources that the homeless man could go to at the police department.
Very cool.
To get some help. So
yeah,
it's nice that they're helping out in the community.
Yeah, and it's the little things like that. I mean, it's socks. Those are basic needs that people have, and so rather than getting worked up, they're just taking care of people.
Yes, because the story could have definitely took a drastic turn.
Absolutely. I actually want to take us further away than Washington. I'm going to take us to Italy.
Okay.
One of the crazy things that's been happening over the last, several decades actually, is that they have been training water rescue dogs. I think we've all heard stories about like these sled dogs that do crazy things like carrying people or injured people, ill people, medicines, things like that through places like Alaska. But Italy has figured out how to use Labrador retrievers, golden retrievers, and Newfoundland terriers to be a part of the Italian School for Water Rescue Dogs. They have more than 300 specifically trained canines assisting rescue swimmers across more than 30 beaches in Italy. Wow. Now, here's what's crazy about this, okay? These dogs go through 18 months of training, and then the best of these dogs then start assisting in literal speedboat saving opportunities. Some of them are even working with the helicopters and jumping out of boats and helicopters to save people.
Wow.
The crazy thing, it gets even more crazy. Just 2 weeks ago, 14 people had gotten caught up in a rough current, were taken almost 400 feet off of shore. And 8 of these 14 were kids, 12 and under. And 3 water rescue dogs and their swimmers, went out and saved them, bringing them all back to safety. Wow. There's a guy that kind of came up with this idea. His name is Ferruccio Palinga. And back in 1989, he was in a water-filled sinking dinghy, basically a small boat, where his Newfoundland Terrier pulled him for more than half an hour to safety. And he just kept thinking to himself, there's no way a human could do that. But this dog was able to do that. So these dogs get in the water with their swimmers, and now they've got 6 legs pulling multiple swimmers oftentimes.
Yeah.
And it is just an amazing partnership between these two. These programs are also being set up now in the United States, Germany, Switzerland, and Azores.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the video we watched, talked about that they were basically using regular dogs. I mean, it's not like they're breeding these dogs for that purpose.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah,
what you
awesome.
got on your next one?
Yeah, so the next one, so as everybody knows, the Olympics has just been finished. And there's several stories that have come out of that of just humanity, just being a human being and and the focus not having to win at all costs.
Yeah.
The first story is USA's Isaiah Jewett, who actually could have probably won the 800 meter, but a Botswanan runner, Nigel Amos, actually fell in front of him and they both got entangled, and ultimately they lost the race. But when Jewett saw his competitor also in disbelief, hurt, he picked him up and said, come on, let's finish this race. And they did it together.
Nice.
and in arms, with their arms around each other.
Yeah.
So that was pretty awesome. Also, the second story is Gianmarco Tamberi from Italy and Mutaz Barshim from Qatar. And I apologize if I butchered the names.
I wouldn't know any different. You're doing good.
They actually had perfect score of a high jump of 7 feet, 9.25 inches. Now, what the amazing part of this is they could have gone to a jump off, but instead of doing the jump off, they decided that they would leave it as a tie and go ahead and share the gold.
Nice.
Now, that's not the first time that they've done this. They've been in kind of a similar situation back in 2010, and since have been friends. So again, not a win at all cost,
Yeah.
And the last one is one that I thought was inspiring because I actually saw the race. Believe it or not, it was a 30-year-old PhD mathematician teacher from Australia. Her name is Anna Kaisenhofer.
You got all the names today.
Yes. And she won gold in cycling 91 miles, which is amazing in itself. But the most amazing part was she did it without any sponsors or or even a coach.
Yeah, she didn't have a professional trainer.
No professionals.
Nice.
And so she was able to win it. She beat out a person who was the defending champion and a world title holder.
Wow.
In the process, but she credited mathematics with her ability to solve problems on her own.
Very cool.
I've come across that where my kids at one time they were saying, when are you going to ever use mathematics? And I was like, well, I heard a story that it's not about using the physics like A equals MC squared type thing. It's being able to use your mind.
Yeah, problem solving,
exactly.
Yeah.
So she proved that that's what mathematics could also do.
Yeah, there's no arguments now with your kids when they don't want to do their math.
Absolutely.
That's like you can win a gold medal.
That's it.
Yeah. Our last story actually comes from our fearless leader and CEO, Dave Gillis. All right, Dave is originally from Princeville, Illinois, and a man from his town named Dean Troutman has been on a cross-country charity walk to raise awareness and money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Okay, so this has been a 3,500-mile trek, okay? And Mr. Troutman, here's another part of what makes this insane, in my opinion, is Mr. Troutman is a military veteran, but he's 90 years old, and he's been on this journey. Now, here's something that's a little bit sad and a little bit unfortunate, but over the last couple of days, we've come to learn that Mr. Troutman has actually been having some heart problems.
Yeah.
And so he's not actually going to be able to finish his 3,500-mile trek, but because people are people and people are good, people have stepped up and they are going to finish the walk for him as it goes from, like I said, Illinois to North Carolina, down into Texas where we are, and then back up to Illinois. And Mr. Troutman has promised, with the help of his doctor, that he is going to walk the last 100 miles while everybody else gets him basically to that.
Awesome.
You talk about a legacy, a man who's literally putting his life on the line to raise awareness so that we as people would take care of other sick children. Mm-hmm. Like that is a true legacy right there. And I think that may be the best way to kind of finish this up is like, man, I wonder if we're supposed to do that. Just consider our own legacies and think about, are we leaving a legacy of humility and helpfulness and selflessness for others?
Yeah. And just being a human and going out there and doing extra,
yeah,
for other people and, even bettering yourself could help actually better someone else.
That's right. That's right. Well, this has been Good Stories with Josh and Oscar. I'm Josh.
And I'm Oscar. And if y'all have any stories that inspire y'all, and feel free, just like Dave did, and share with us.
Absolutely.
We'd be happy to tell the story to everyone too.
Yep. You guys have a good day.
Thank you.